Hi everyone, my name is Shannon with Diversely Designed, and this week I'm going to be doing our Caregiver Tip Tuesday. This week we're going to talk about trauma. Trauma is something that can take place anytime, anywhere, and our kids can get triggered by something very big or very small. We may never know all that takes place for what triggers our kids, but it's important for us to be prepared on what to do when things like that happen. I recently heard it explained to me like this. Kids that do not come from a trauma, think about a boiling pot of water. When we go to boil a pot of water on the stove, it starts out as a cold pan. When we turn on the heat, the water begins to take on that heat element, correct? It starts to slowly simmer until it reaches a boil. Where our kids that have been through trauma are constantly at that simmering point on a day-to-day basis. They're waiting for things to happen. They're in protective, defensive mode because they want to feel safe. And something that triggers them triggers their safety, or that felt safety, whether they're safe or not. They may not know. For example, if they're in a school situation and the teacher decides that he has to get the class back together after having them working together on a project and they're all excited, he may become firm. When he becomes firm, that could trigger a child that's in that classroom of something that has taken place in the past. It could be the gesture, the facial expression, the tone of voice, and the words that have been then heard. And that child could cower or could have other behavioral symptoms that take place because of the trauma trigger. It could also be that, say, we want to get our child a gift, and that gift may be something that in the past that child would receive small gifts prior to being violated. There's so many different types of trauma out there. And we may never know all the trauma triggers, but it's important that we're prepared. So what can we do as caregivers to help our children through these traumatic experiences? Well, the first thing and most important is to connect with that child. Those behaviors that you're seeing are basically a reaction to that trauma to protect themselves. They've learned what they can do or what they need to do to protect themselves and to feel safe. So we need to connect with them, reassure them of their safety, validate their feelings as much as possible. Even if they can't label them, help label those feelings for them. And that's a way of connecting with them. And then only after that can we explain to them or help them cope. In explaining to them their feelings after we validated them, what do we do with these feelings when we feel triggered? Again, reassuring their safety, connecting with them is of utmost importance. It is not the time to correct behaviors. It is not the time to worry about anything but those heightened, triggered emotions. So again, my name is Shannon with Diversely Designed. Thank you for having me here. I look forward to more caregiver tips in the coming future. Have a great day.